Glory, glory, Manchester United. Hello, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode of this podcast. And this episode, we'll be reading through the blog post just to see what the bloggers are saying about our team. Yeah, one says, Ragnick says Marcus Rashford was doing really well in training. Let's dive in. It says Marcus Rashford's performance for Manchester United was not good. It bordered somewhere between disappointing and abysmal, depending on critical you wish to be. Rashford's substitution late on was well overdue, and it looks like a player who needs a long spell on the sidelines. On the sidelines, in the bench. No, manager Ralf Ragnick is at a loss to explain Rashford's total loss of form. Speaking after the game, he said he was taken aback because the player had been playing well in training. You know that kind of thing. Always performing among your guys, and when you go out to play against other people, you are laid back. Ragnick told the men, actually, I don't know. He's trying hard. He's in training. He was doing really well in the last couple of days. That's why he was quite rightly in the starting 11. I think in the first half, we found him quite often. We also tried to get him into the box. In the second half, that was not often the case, and that's why at the end of the game, I decided to make 2 changes. On form, Rashford really did not deserve to be in the side, even if he had played well in training. But United were short-handed by injuries to summer signings Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho. With the team initially reverting to a 4-2-3-1 formation, there was hope Rashford could rediscover his old form, and while he looked a bit better in the first half when United used that system, he was still indecisive and failed to offer a threat. With Rashford seemingly impressing behind the scenes, it appears Rashford's issue could be a psychological one. Yeah, I think so. It should be in his head. Wilting under pressure in front of an expectant crowd. This should happen because Rashford is a player who has taken everything on his stride so far in his career, scoring 2 goals on his debut at Old Trafford in 2016 instead of getting stage fright. He would argue some of his best form for United came during the lockdown, but not all. He was impressive in the first half of the 2019-2020 campaign when crowds were in attendance, but somewhere he has gone out of sync with his game and is putting too much pressure on himself. I think that COVID-19 actually affected everybody because most players were trying to bring their best in that period, so in that sense they become adapted to no audience kind of football, which also seems like a training. Probably now that the fans are back, he's now just having the stage fright he didn't have in 2016. I'm just saying, in my opinion. He looked utterly dejected after he went off, in full knowledge he had not played well. Well, it shows in his countenance because he also felt like he hasn't performed the way he should. United fans will be both critical and supportive. He won't get special treatment above others, honestly, because even though as I love Rashford, I'd be like, no man, this guy's flopping now. We need Antonio Elanga to replace him. If anything, there is more pressure on him because of what we know he's capable of, honestly, and that's why I think Ragnick is starting him constantly because he feels like probably he has seen his potential and he wants him to bring out his potential on the pitch, but he's kind of becoming a training kind of player. Ragnick hired psychologist Sasha Lenz when he came to the club, and he should spend some time with Rashford if he has not already and try and get to the root of the issue. If he can't, then it's time for a spell out of the side. Well, I think with the psychologist in picture now, I think the whole issue will be kind of solved. And everything wrong with Rashford is obviously a psychology issue. He can play anything he wants, and since he's playing well in the training and he's not performing here, that means it's very difficult for him to have that kind of brain shift that I'm on the pitch now where I have to play more. But with the psychologist in picture, I think the psychologist will be able to at least put him through. Here to another blog post, it says Ragnick hails McTominay as future United cap as Star shows goal scoring from where we've read this kind of related blog post in our previous episode, but let's dive in still. Manchester United best midfielders have always been goal scoring ones. Paul Scholes made an habit of it, and Bruno Fernandes has followed in the footsteps of his fellow number 18. Roy Keane, Brian Robson and Sir Bobby Charlton all knew how to chip in with goals from centre midfield, and while Scott McTominay has an incredible long way to be considered in such company, he is at least finding the score sheet once again. Between February and December 2021, McTominay failed to score a single goal. Now he has struck 2 goals in his last 3 games. United boss Ralf Ragnick made a point of praising him after the game, telling BBC Sport if McTominay is an academy boy, his energy is amazing. He now also starts scoring goals and also with some leadership skills. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years he would be the captain of his team. His header to open the scoring against Aston Villa was one Scholes would have been proud of, taking advantage of space in the box to get onto the end of a cross and directing it into the back of the net. Prior to McTominay's goal drought, he had been on a goal-scoring blitz by his standards, netting 7 goals between September and February of last season, the same number striker Anthony Martial scored last season too. His subsequent lack of goals was a blow because McTominay is a far better midfielder when he's getting into the final third. United fans have been calling for a defensive midfielder to join the club for a couple of years now. The club hoped McTominay could be groomed as an dramatic replacement, but it's quite plainly not up to the task. As he has shown again, lately McTominay is better when he's freed up from some defensive responsibility and allowed to attack. Yeah, the man likes attacking. It's very obvious. I really don't know why they are pushing this guy to the defensive midfielder position because this guy is superb attacking. I don't know why this guy. The problem with McTominay is the lack of consistency. Why he scored and played well in games against Burnley and Villa, he was very poor in the defeat against Wolves. And the issue with McTominay goals is that they have come in spurts. With such a long stretch between his strikes last year, United need him to become a consistent contributor, which to be fair, it was last season before the goals dried up in February. He now has 16 United career goals in total. McTominay's selection is consistent. While Manchester United fans yearn for the likes of Robson and Kane or yesteryear and consider McTominay a poor imitation, the club's last 3 managers have all seen something they like in him. Jose Mourinho was the manager who gave him his debut and likes to remind people about it, telling the Sun earlier this year he believed in him when few else did. McTominay became a favourite under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, playing 115 games under the Norwegian, and he has since become a near ever present under Ralf Rangnick. The big challenge for McTominay will come when United do sign a couple more midfielders, but you wouldn't bet against him retaining a regular role. McTominay will always get a regular role. To do so, McTominay needs to continue to score and show his best form when he chips in with goals and is useful. And this is what United fans expect from midfielders. He's clearly capable and hopefully there won't be a long stretch until his next goal. Yeah, I really see him come up with more goals like McTominay. The goal he scored for us against Manchester City last season will forever be my man. Whip the shot and then as him flop the pass. Straight up to a goal, man. McTominay, the man is very good. Well, that's that about the blog post of this episode. And until the next episode, remain red and forever remain red.